Hey everyone, Rachel Leah Gerson here of Doorway to Self. I wanted to welcome you to the YouTube channel. If you haven't already subscribed and liked this channel, you should definitely do that. You have a chance to win a free potion of your choice, so yeah, cool stuff. How are we all doing today? So I wanted to talk about work. I want to talk about what does work mean? And the reason I want to talk about this today is because I was just at the market and I was getting some groceries, and the guy who was checking me out was, asking me how my day was. What are you up to today? What's going on? And my answer was, I just chilled out this morning. It's Sunday. I just chilled out this morning, and then I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna work, and I said it just like that. And when I was leaving, I realized how I had said that, and that I genuinely love my job and I love what I do, and that was just such a natural way of relating to someone else. Is by downplaying and by saying, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go work, oh gosh, have to do those tarot spreads for people. You know what I mean? It's like, I love what I do and I built my life around this. And so to downplay it and to feed negative energy into what I do, just felt so, like, such a dichotomy to me. And so I started kind of thinking about, well, why was I doing that? And the answer was very simple, because that's how we relate to each other in society. If you love what you do, if you love your work, people tend to look at you differently. People tend to, become jealous of you and to kind of, look at you in a way of where you have something that they don't, and that's not fair. And so I've noticed that I've started doing this because I don't want people to be having those feelings. But that's not in my control, and that's their lesson to learn. And if they relate to me in that way, then that's their own deal, and they, shouldn't be in my life anyways. So it was just a very interesting observation, and so I want to put it out there for you guys to start doing the same thing. When you're relating to people about work, about your job, about your career, about what you're doing, firstly, how do you relate to them? Are you relating to them in a way of like, oh yeah, I have to work tonight, or oh, I have to go work today, or oh, I have to write up this paper, or I have to, do my accounting, or, whatever it is. Are you saying it with a negative connotation? Are you talking about it in a way where you are feeding into it negatively, where you are downplaying it, where you are, it's kind of showing that you're not happy, or that you're frustrated, or you don't want to do it? And then I want you to look at, if that is the case, if you are talking that way about what you do, then why, and you, then I want you to actually look into yourself and say, is that actually how I feel about what I do? And if that is how you feel about what you do, don't do it. Why are you doing it? Go find something else. Go find something that makes you happy. And I get it. I get the whole, bill to bill, paycheck goes to all the bills type thing. I get it. But there are other jobs out there that can be, you're doing something closer, at least, to what you love. And as you begin to raise your vibration in the way of doing something that's more fulfilling to you than it is draining, you're going to start bringing more in. I have a philosophy, and I think the reason that people are living paycheck to paycheck is because they are living lives that are drained. And when you are connecting with that energy of things being drained, of feeling drained, then you're going to be draining your life as well, which means, guess what? Draining your bank account too. Because let's face it, let's say you hate what you're doing and you're still bringing in a ton of money. Okay, let's say you're making $100,000 a year, and you're completely happy with that amount, because that's quite a bit, and but you're not happy with what you're doing, and you're not happy with how your life is structured. You're still going to feel a drain in your life, and maybe that's going to also reflect itself in your finances. Maybe your bills are going to start going up. Maybe you have a kid and the kid is starting to drain your account. Maybe, I don't know, somebody you love got in trouble with the law and you're having to bail them out. And it seems that when we're drained, that's the energy that's coming out, and so that's the energy that it's attracting. And I'm not one to necessarily harp on the whole law of attraction thing, but there is definitely some validation to it. I think that people have taken the law of attraction thing into a place that's extremely unhealthy, that they've taken it to a place of, oh, well, if you have negative emotions, then you're attracting more negative things. And I guess, wow, this is definitely going to go into a tangent on that. All right, who's ready to talk law of attraction? Because that's what we're going to do right now. That's what just happened. Let's talk about how that's harmful, because that's really harmful. Firstly, you're ignoring yourself. Secondly, you're ignoring your true emotions. And then thirdly, that means that, guess what you're attracting? You're not attracting more positive things. You're attracting ignorance, and you're attracting trying people and things and places and events that are void of substance, or that are just trying to skim the surface of life rather than going deep. That's what you're attracting. It's not that these positive emotions, and really, oh my gosh, I can't even stand the positive emotion, negative emotion. No. There's no such thing, guys. Every single emotion you feel is there for a reason. You're feeling it for a reason, even if it's uncomfortable, even if you feel like it's unnecessary, even if you don't want to feel it, you're feeling it for a reason. You're feeling it because you need to learn from that thing, or you need to grow from that thing, or you need to process that thing. I've heard stories about people who have gone through divorces, and they come out on the other side of the divorce, and it was a really painful divorce. They didn't want it, etc. And they're signing their paperwork, and they're like, I just have to think positively about this, and I can't be angry. I can't listen to that language. I can't be angry about this. I can't be upset about this, because that's attracting anger and upset my way. That's not true. If you allow yourself to feel that anger, to feel that upset, then guess what that's doing? That's allowing you to purge, so that those things aren't locked into your body somatically. Because that's what happens when we ignore ourselves, when we ignore our emotions, our feelings, our those things that are ingrained so deeply, that are so raw. When we ignore those things, they lock themselves into our myofascial system, or into our organs. Our body remembers these things, and our body has a way of storing that anger, that sadness, that frustration, that stress, that feeling of deceit, anything like that. The body stores it, and then guess what happens? You develop cancer, or MS, or liver problems, or kidney failure, or you have to have your gallbladder removed, or whatever it is, because your body is freaking out from holding all of this stuff that it doesn't need to be holding on to, in addition to all of its normal exercises that it's doing as well. So, yeah. Feel your anger, feel your sadness, feel your frustration, feel your guilt, feel your shame, feel all these things that people have deemed negative, and start understanding. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do. You decide what to do, but maybe it would be beneficial to you to start telling yourself that that is a positive thing to do. Right? because it is, then your body's not storing it. You're not holding on to it and covering it up and brushing it over. You're not downplaying yourself. You're allowing yourself to be heard and seen by you, which how powerful is that? That's like the most powerful thing ever. That's more powerful than other people seeing you. You seeing yourself and allowing yourself to see yourself and to hold space for yourself. That's the big work. That's the big stuff. So then what happens? So then you're feeling all of this anger and you're allowing yourself to feel it. And I want to make a distinction here. I'm not saying get stuck in it. I'm not saying throw yourself in it and drown in it. I'm saying allow yourself to feel it. Allow for it to come up. Allow for yourself to understand it and to say, okay, this is here. This is real. I'm really feeling this right now and it's okay. I need to feel this right now. Because there is a difference between, kind of being in your own turmoil and drowning in it and sticking yourself in it rather than just feeling it, allowing it to come up. And it takes practice. And especially if you're somebody who has shoved these emotions down and kind of ignored them, it might take a lot of practice to just allow those things to come up and acknowledge them and be okay with it and to then not sit in them. Because it's possible that if you've been stuffing stuff down for, 30, 40, 50 years, 70 years, whatever it is, that when it starts to come up, it's really, really going to come up. And as always, I'm here to hold space for you if that's the case, and you can learn how to work with me one-on-one in the link down below. Oh yeah, wow, we really tangented here, guys. So that's why I have an issue with the way that people are kind of tending to look at the law of attraction stuff here. And I've seen it turned on its head in many other ways. But going back to the very beginning here, what I was saying about the job thing, right? So if you're in a job that you dislike, change that. Go start interviewing for other places, or start working on that invention you've been thinking up, or, whatever it is. And, I had a very interesting dream last night that I'd like to share with you. So in this dream, I was with my partner, and he and I had a chest, like a big black chest. And it was supposed to have all of this incredible magical stuff in it. And this woman who I used to work really closely with, who's passed, came to us in the dream, and she had taken the chest, and she said, I took this chest as a lesson because you need to learn how to go to other places to find it. And so we got into a car, and we're driving, and all of a sudden, my partner accelerates really fast and just guns it, and he's putting the pedal to the metal. I'm like, what are you doing? And we go off this mountain, right? And it's like a mountain up, and we speed up the mountain and end up launching into the air. And when we get into the air, there's this cube shape, okay? And it's like spinning, and it's got like silver outlines of this cube shape. And we fly right into it. And on the other side, we're in this other dimension. And the car starts like spinning, and I'm seeing all the galaxies surrounding me, and it's like this really profound experience. And in my dream, like, I don't know if I was doing this in waking life, or not in waking life, but in like physical life at all, but I screamed really loud in the dream, and I was screaming, and I was, but it was more of like a, when you're on a roller coaster and you're screaming because you're having a lot of fun and peeing your pants at the same time. I don't actually pee my pants. You don't need to bring any wipes to the next roller coaster ride you ride after me, but you get what I'm saying. So I'm like screaming really loud. I'm having this great time, and all of a sudden, I feel myself get really fearful, and I start thinking about all the logistics it's going to take to find this box and this chest in this other dimension. And I feel the fear coming up really vividly and really strongly. And as soon as I feel that fear, the car starts, I feel, when you feel fear, I'm gonna get up for a minute. You feel fear and you feel it like right here and your whole stomach just kind of drops, right? That's what I felt in my dream. And as my stomach dropped, so did the car. And the whole car fell down pretty gracefully and it landed back on Earth and we were out of that other dimension. And Chris, my partner, turned to me and he said, "You let your fear get the best of you and now we have to start all over again." And then I woke up. And I feel like that's so relevant. It's such a fantastical metaphor for our daily lives. We get launched up, we get in that car, we accelerate, we go, 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 go. We finally get launched off into this place we've been waiting to be in for so long, and we've been working so hard to be there. And then all of a sudden you finally get to that place and you're like, but what about this, and what about this, and what about this, and how do I do this, and how do I get this done? And your stomach drops and so do you. And you end up right back where you started again. You have to start over. And that's okay. That's okay. But I'm telling you this story for a very specific reason, and it's because I think that's what holds us all back. I think some of us are even to the point where we haven't even opened that car door. We haven't even pushed the accelerator. We haven't even launched into that other dimension. And our stomach is dropped so far that we're just weighted here. We're weighted and stuck in whatever we're sitting on. And so for those of you who are in jobs or careers or work that you don't like or you don't agree with, ask yourself why you're there. Are you there because you have to be? Because no one really has to be anywhere. Life is an experiment, and you get to do what you want with it. You're there because you're scared. You're there because you're scared that if you push the accelerator, you're not going to push it fast enough. Or that if you launch off that hilltop, you're not going to go straight into that cube and into that other place that you've been wanting to go into. Or that if you get into that other place, you're going to fall back down and out. And you know what? That might happen. That might happen. But it's okay. Because guess what? Now you've learned how to get one step further in the journey that you're wanting to be on, rather than pushing the car in reverse or weighing it down with your stomach. So that's what I wanted to challenge you on today is when you talk about what you do you talk about it like it's a burden? And if you do talk about it like it's a burden, is it because it is one? And if it is one, then why are you doing it? And if it's not one, like mine isn't for me, I love what I do. And if that's what place you're in and you love what you do, then why are you downplaying it out in society? Is it because you're trying to relate to people? Are you trying to drop to their frequency in order to relate to them? Because that's what I was doing earlier today. I was trying to relate to someone. But what would happen if we related to people on a completely different level? What would happen if we related to people in a place of, I get to go work later. Yeah, I'm having a great day. I got to chill out earlier today, and now I get to go home and I get to work. And I'm really excited about it. That's nothing you hear people say, like ever. It's always like, yeah, I gotta work, I gotta go home, I gotta pay the bills. What if paying the bills, what if what pays the bills is something you love, right? And you're actually excited about the work. Why would you take the excitement out of the work? Why would you downplay that just to make somebody else comfortable or to relate to somebody? Because you're not relating to them. You're not coming from your truest, most authentic place. You're not coming from your true frequency. You're lowering your frequency to match theirs. I'd love to hear in the comments what you guys think about this. What's your experience? Are you in a job right now that you despise? Or, you know, if you're a college student or a high school student, are you doing something right now that you really don't like doing? And so you need to find something else. You know, what are you doing? What are you not doing? What do you need to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you feel in your gut? You're like, this is the thing I need to do. Why am I not doing it? Why aren't you doing it? Tell me. I want to know. And also tell me if you are doing what you love, if you found your sweet spot and you love what you do, tell me what that is. Maybe drop your handle. I'll follow you on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And I'd love to hear from you if that's your case. You know, when you relate to people, when you say, oh yeah, I have to go work, does it sound like, oh, I have to go work? Or does it sound like, yeah, I got to go work? Which one is it? And why? And how do you feel about that? All right, beautiful creatures. That's my spur of the moment video for today. I'm wishing you all a beautiful, beautiful day and lots of love and a superb amount of awesome reflection right now on your work and your life and yourself and your views of the law of attraction. Doorway to self, over.